Welcome to Workout in Pilates. Today we're going to do a little bit for your core, lower abdominals and spine work. Are we ready? Okay, let's set up your posture first. So feet hip distance, toes pointing forward, soften your knees. You've got the shoulders back and down, tuck your chin and lengthen through your crown of your head so you grow an inch. Then we're going to bring our hands onto our hips, imagining your pelvis is a bowl of water. Tilt your water forwards, level off, and tilt your water backwards and level off. So just show you from the side, you're tilting forwards, stick your bum out, come back to centre, and then tilt backwards, tuck your bum under, and back to centre. So becoming aware of where centre is. Centre will give you neutral spine, neutral pelvis. Let's have a couple more each way. And then this time let's level off in the centre so that bowl of water's level and your hip bones are pointing directly forwards. From the hip bones, with your fingers, come in an inch and then down half an inch. Have a little poke around, you should be able to feel a muscle. If not, just give a little cough or a laugh and you should be able to feel it. Using that muscle, imagine drawing your hip bones closer together and squeezing into your skinny jeans hard as you can. So you should feel those lower abdominals tighten. And then release completely, feel them soften. So again, imagine drawing those hip bones closer, squeeze into skinny jeans hard as you can. And you're going to release it halfway, and a little bit more so we've got a 30% contraction. You want to try and maintain that 30%, and let's bring your hands onto your rib cage. So introducing your breathing, we take a soft breath in through the nose, and release it through the mouth. Soft breath in, fill out the lungs into the back of the rib cage, releasing through the mouth. As you breathe in, your rib cage expands, and then as you breathe out, rib cage gets smaller. Maintaining the breathing, keeping the connection in the abdominals, bring your hands down by your sides. We're going to switch on your deep core stabilizers, just using sways. You sway ever so slightly forwards, feel yourself off balance, and then sway ever so slightly backwards. You can hover your heels half an inch as you sway forwards and peel your toes off as you sway backwards. So from the side, you can see my body stays as one. If you're feeling stable, you want to challenge yourself, close your eyes. Two more each way, and then leveling off in the centre. So feet stay hip distance, we're going to move into our first move, standing side bends. So maintain that connection in the abdominals. Breath in to prepare, breathe out, reach down the leg, and then breathe in, back up to standing. So breathing out to the other side, and breathe in, back up to standing. The hips stay in place, weight even between both feet, making sure there's no movement forwards or back. If you want to progress it, you don't have to, it's up to you. Hands by your ears. So it's the same move, just adding on the levers to make your obliques and your lateral flexors work a little harder. Two more on each side. Always trying to finish off on the opposite side so that we're balanced. And then bring your hands down by your sides. So we're moving on to monkey squats. Your feet a little bit wider than hip distance. Still got that connection. Thinking about your lower back. So we take a breath in to prepare. Breathe out, hinge at your hips, and then bend your knees sitting back on a chair. Breathe in, squeeze your bum, push through the heels, back up to standing. Keeping that connection, making those glutes do the work. So the stronger your bum, the stronger your lower back. Feeling stable, want a challenge? Come into tight rope. So hinge and lower. Same move. Just adding in the balance, making those core muscles work a little bit harder. Keeping your hips level. And change sides. The same thing. Other foot in front. Keep your back heel. Woo, she says. Pushed into the floor. Keep your connection. Just two more. And then give those legs a little shake out. Come onto your knees. So kneeling spine twist. So knees hip distance. Squeeze your bum, hips stay facing forwards. So hands across your chest. Take your breath in to prepare. Breathe out, grow an inch. Rotate the upper body. Breathe in, come back to centre. Breathe out, grow an inch, rotate to the other side. And back to centre. So focus on those hips staying forwards as the upper body moves. Feel like your hips are following you around. Squeeze your bum a little bit more. So on rotation, we want to feel as if your waist is being wrung out, so you're not letting your tummy stick out. Keeping those hips forwards. Feeling coordinated, hands out in front. You can do it with bow and arrow arms. So as you draw the elbow back, eyes follow the hand, you reach forward with the other one. Up to you, all progressions are optional. You choose, you can stay with hands across your chest if you want. One more on each side. And then come onto your all fours. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And just do a couple more pelvic tilts, get some extra nourishment to our lower disc. So this time, think about your tailbone. You're going to tilt your pelvis forwards, tailbone comes to ceiling, so stick your bum out. Come back to the centre, tilt your pelvis back, tilt your tailbone to the floor. And back to centre. So just feeling those different positions. Some extra nourishment to those lower discs. Becoming aware of where centre is. One more each way. And then we're going to level off. Centre, your tailbone should be pointing directly backwards. Should be able to rest a cup of tea on your sacrum, the bony bit just above your bum, and have a slightly natural curve in the lower back. So keeping your alignment from your tailbone right through to the crown of your head. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Just drawing on those abdominals, we're going to do our knee hovers. So less is more. So breath in to prepare. Breathe out, hover both knees, half an inch off the mat. Couple of seconds hold. Breathe in, lower back down. Keep breathing out to hover. And breathing in to lower. So knees only come no more than an inch off the mat. Keeping that cup of tea just above your bum, nice and level, and maintaining that neutral spine. If you need to, you can stretch out the wrists at any point, and just join back in. If you're feeling strong, you want a progression, we add the leg pull. So we come into the knee hover, you take one leg back, second leg back. Hold in your plank, 3 to 5 seconds. Bring the knees back into the hover, lower, go again. If you want the breathing pattern, breath in to prepare, breathe out, hover, one leg back, second leg back, breathe in, hold, breathe out back into the knee hover to lower the knees, breath in to prepare, go again. Keep going or stay with your knee hover, whatever you prefer. If the breathing confuses you, just breathe. When you're in that plank, make sure the body's strong. One more. And once you've finished, take your bum to your heels, round through the spine, tuck your head under into your shell stretch. Okay, that's what we want in that position, is nice flexion through the spine. Should feel like a release in the lower back. When you're ready, hands by your knees, slowly uncurl. Start vertebrae on vertebrae, head's last thing to lift. Let's lie down. We want to find neutral spine in this position. The easiest way is just take your fingers under your lower back. You should just be able to get the first bit of your fingers under your back, not your whole hand. You can drive a bus under there, just tilt your pelvis back a wee bit. We're going to draw in on our lower abdominals again, that 30%. We're going to bring heels, toes, knees together. Hands on your rib cage. I'm going to start with a small range of movement. Breath in to prepare. Breathe out, take both knees to about 5 past 10 past the hour. And then breathe in, come back to centre. Breathe out to the other side. And breathe in back to centre. So heels, toes, knees stay glued together. You start to get that rotation through the lumbar spine. As you can see, if you look at my feet, toes have stayed together, so the outside of the foot is lifted. Come back to centre. You start to get a little bit warmer through the spinal rotators. You can increase the movement, so take the knees further over, so hips will lift, back of the rib cage will lift, but you keep your shoulders pushed into the floor. If you want to challenge the stabilizers, lift your elbows. Or you can bring your hands across your chest. Up to you. 2 more on each side, making sure you finish off on the opposite side to what you started. If you can remember what it was. And then if you need to release your back, either bring your knees into your chest or straighten out your legs, whatever your back's asking you to do. We're going to do some lower abdominal work. We're going to come into tabletop. So your lower back needs to be pushed into the mat, what we call imprint. We're aiming for 90 degrees at the hips and 90 degrees at the knees. So drawing on the abdominals, keep that spine pushed into the mat. So breath in to prepare. Breathe out, lower one foot towards the floor. Touch the floor with the toes. And then breathe in, come back up. Breathing out to the other side. And breathe in, come back up. So focus on your lower back first. And you're convinced that that lower back staying pushed into the floor. Then focus on the abdominals. So aiming, keep the 90 degrees at the knees and the angle is at the hips. So no toes, heels to bum. We want to lower that leg. The further away you take your leg, the more it works those abdominals. So if you want to make it harder, take the toes further away. Still keeping that back pushed in, still keeping your connection. 2 more on each side. Again, finish off on the opposite side to what you started. And then release your back, either knees in or straighten out the legs, whatever your back's asking you to do. So do ab prep. So your feet are flat on the floor, hip distance. We want that neutral spine back again. So just so you can get your first bit of your fingers under your hand, under your back, not your whole hand. This time, tuck in your chin, so we see more of the ceiling in front than behind. A little bit of double chin going on. Lengthen through the neck. Keep that connection, palms to the floor. So breath in to prepare. Breathe out, reach forward, lift head and shoulders off the mat. And then as you breathe in, lower back down. So tummy stays connected, it's not sticking up as you lift. Keeping your chin tucked and the back's not sinking into the floor. If you did want to make this move harder, you could do it in tabletop. But it's optional, it's up to you. I prefer feet down. Let's have 5 more, because I'm feeling mean. Keep your chin tucked, with the length through the neck. Last 2. And then again, release your back, either knees into your chest or straighten out those legs, whatever your back's asking you to do for a release. We're going to stretch the hamstrings before we shoulder bridge. So bring one leg up, hold either behind the thigh of the calf, and gently pull that leg in so we feel it stretch back of the thigh. Once you can feel that stretch, straighten the leg that's on the floor, hold it there. Make sure you've still got that neutral spine, chin still tucked. So if it eases, gently pull it a little bit closer. That's can improve hamstrings. Bend your knee, release, change side. Throw the leg up, hold either behind the thigh of the calf, straighten out the leg that's on the floor, and hold. One side won't be as flexible as the other, but we're trying to work on improving that. The easiest, gently pull it a little bit closer, and just feeling it back at the thigh. Keep that leg as close to the floor as you can. And bend that knee, release. So shoulder bridge, we want our feet hip distance, but a little bit closer to our bum. So start with the neutral spine. Look in the chin, relax your arms. So we're focusing on the spine. Keep the connection in the abdominals. Back in to prepare. Breathe out, tilt your pelvis back. Push your lower back into the mat first. And start to lift your bum and peel your spine off vertebrae by vertebrae. Getting your hips as high to the ceiling as you can. Breathe in to hold. Then breathe out to slowly lower back down. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Your bum's the last thing to touch. Breath in to prepare, go again. So the lower back into the mat first. Peel your bum off. We're looking at segmental control. So that just means vertebrae by vertebrae. The hips up nice and high, so we get an extension, thoracic spine and lumbar spine. And then rolling back down to get that flexion through the spine. The slower you come back down, the more it will work your abdominals. If you want to add on arms, you can do. You can peel the spine off, take both arms back to the floor, hips as high as you can. Hands should hit the floor as you hit the top of the shoulder bridge. And then as you come back down, lower back down, and your hands will be just after your bum. So it's up to you whether you use arms or not. If you are using arms, make sure you lead with your thumbs as you go back, and lead with your little fingers as you come down. Keeping that connection. Don't let those arms take you away from the spine movement. Focus on the spine movement first. Bring the arms in second. 2 more. Controlling it on the way back down, keeping that connection in your abdominals. Last one. And you can release your back, either knees into your chest. Just straighten out your legs, whatever your back's asking you to do. Go onto your side, push yourself up to seated. And come into a seated roll back. Really working in those abdominals. Sit as tall as you can to start with. Keep your hip distance flat on the floor. Breath in to prepare. Breathe out, going to tuck your bum under, round through your spine. Come into a C shape. This should be nice and rounded through the spine. Keep that connection. All the way forwards and restart. So put your bum under, round through the spine, hold it. I always get the shakes on this one. Feel that tummy, come all the way forwards and restart. You want a breathing pattern, breath in to prepare, breathe out, tuck your bum under, round through, breathe in, hold, 3 to 5 seconds, proper shaking, breathe out, come forwards. Breathe in, restart. So you're focusing on tilting the pelvis first, keeping that tummy connected, not letting it stick up. If breathing confuses you, just breathe. If you want to add on to it, want to make it a little bit harder, when you're in your C shape, you can bring those back, those bow and arrow arms we did earlier, on our knees. Or you come forwards. They are optional. Takes a lot of breath control if you're using the breathing. So breathe in the whole time you do the arms. One more for good luck. Tuck under, round through. Hold. One arrow arms if you want. Come forwards. and restack. Just release your back into the slumber stretch, tuck your head under, round through the spine. Restart vertebrae on vertebrae, head back into it. We'll do seated spine twist. So similar to when we was kneeling, just a little bit more focus on your lumbar spine. You can sit cross-legged, if not, bring them out in front, whatever you prefer. So hands across your chest, tall as you can, connection in the abdominals. Breath in to prepare, breathe out, grow an inch, and rotate. Breathe in back to centre, breathe out, grow an inch, and rotate to the other side. So it's exactly as we did on our knees. Keep the weight even between both of your sitting bones. Feel like your waist is being wrung out as you turn. One more to each side. And just back into that slumber stretch. Feet out in front, tuck your head under, round through the spine. Restart vertebrae on vertebrae, head into. Come onto your knees. One foot out in front. You're going to stretch our hip flexors, so you're going to tuck your bum under and take your hips forward with your stretch here. Hold that a couple of seconds. Take it back, change sides. So again, tuck your bum under first and take the hips forward. Feel that stretch there. And take it back, tuck your toes under at the back, hands out to the side, push yourself up to standing. So, feet hip distance, toes pointing forwards, soften your knees. Keep your shoulders level, one ear towards one side, stretch into the side of the neck. Bring your head up over to the other side. Bring your head back up, shoulders back and down. One more pelvic tilts before we finish, so remember your bowl of water from earlier. Hands on your hips, put the pelvis forwards, level off, put your pelvis back, level off. Just a couple more each way. You need to level off in the centre, so your bowl of water's level, those hip bones are pointing forward, shoulders back and down. Finish with neutral spine, neutral pelvis. Well done guys, thank you very much.